Hi guys, welcome to a new video. In this video we'll be making this bubu kaftan with a placket around the neckline. If this is something you like to learn, keep watching. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, comment, like, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified whenever I make a new post. Thank you. The first thing to do is to cut out your desired length and fold into two. So you take your fabric and cut out your length. Mine is 62, and you fold each of the piece into two. One is going to serve as the front and the other will serve as the back. Here I'll be ruling a line across which will serve as my shoulder line. The next thing to mark is my neck width, and I'm using 3.5 inches. I'll be marking my shoulder and my sleeve together because this is a cut together kaftan, and I'm using the whole length of this fabric, which is 19 inches. I came down by 1 inch, which is going to serve as my shoulder slope. So I'm connecting the 1 inch to my neck width. This is going to give me my shoulder slope. The next thing to do is to get my neckline for the back. I'm using 1 inch and I'm going to be creating a curve on that area to get my back neckline. For the front neckline, I'll be marking 17 inches, which is actually my waistline, because this is going to be a placket. I'll be cutting it out. After marking 17 inches, I went out by 1 inch and I'll mark a point there. From that point, I'm going to connect that point, that's the 1 inch, to the neckline. Just watch what I'm doing. After doing that, the next thing is to get my arm measurement for the sleeve, and for that I'll be using 11 inches. I've gone ahead to mark 11 inches. After that, I went in by 1 inch just to create a bit of a slope at that sleeve area. This is just how I like it because I feel like it comes out very nice. So I've looked at this and I feel like the red chalk is not very visible, so I decided to go in with a white chalk. I hope this is better. On the underbust line, I'm taking my hip measurement divided by 4. I added an extra 4 inches. One is going to serve as my sewing allowance, and the remaining 3 inches is for ease. I'll mark the exact same thing till I get to the end of the kaftan, and I'm going to connect in a straight line. On the armhole area, I'm just going to be creating a curve to eliminate the sharpness of the area. The next thing is to cut this out, following all of the lines that I have already made. So after cutting, the only thing left is the neckline for the front piece. As you can see, I've already cut out for the back piece, so I'll separate the front from the back. After removing the back, I'll go ahead to cut out the front neckline. After doing that, I'll open this up so you can see exactly what it is meant to look like. I'm going to mark half of an inch under the line where I have the 2 inch. Please just watch what I'm doing. I'll be using my ruler to connect the ½ inch and get a straight line. After which, I'll also be using my ruler to connect at the edge to sort of get like a slant line. Please watch what I'm doing carefully. What I'll be doing here is to simply notch the area. So I'm drawing the lines to make sure that the notch doesn't extend past where I want it to. That's the ½ inch point. So after notching, that's exactly what it will be looking like. The next step is to go ahead and join the front piece to the back piece, shoulder to shoulder. So I'm just going to be placing them both right side facing each other, take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to be stitching using ½ of an inch. After stitching this shoulder to shoulder, this is exactly what it should be looking like. The next thing to do is to join them together to make sure the stitch area is touching each other. The reason for this is so that I'll be able to measure how long the opening is, and when I get how long the opening is, I'll know how long I'll be cutting my placket. Remember, there's a placket that goes from the back neckline to the front to the waistline. So this is me trying to measure from where the placket will start, and it's 20 inches. Now for the placket, I'll be using crepe for mine. You can use ashoke for yours. I'll be cutting out a piece of crepe fabric that is at least 23 inches long and 5 inches wide. As you can see, this is at least 27 inches long and 5 inches wide. I cut out 2 pieces of these and then I ironed an interfacing on the wrong side. I'll join these 2 pieces together with a stitch, ½ an inch stitch. After joining, I'll fold this in 2 equal halves and iron it. Now, the reason why I'm ironing this thing is to actually get the midpoint. That's all I need. So if you do not want to iron it, you can go ahead to use your tape rule to measure. Remember, this is 5 inches, so you are going to make sure you get a straight line in the middle, which means that there will be 2.5 inches on both sides. The next thing to do is to measure how deep you want your neckline to be. Mine is 14 inches. So just take your tape from your back neckline, cross it over to the front and measure how deep you want your neckline to be. Mine is 14 inches. So I marked a point there, as you can see the red chalk. And then following from the point that I mark, I make sure I get a straight stitch from the 14 inches down to the end of the placket. So before the 14 inches will be open, and then from the 14 inches down to the placket, make sure there's a line in the middle. That's why I ironed it. Now, after stitching and ironing, I opened it up and then I ironed it to the right side. This is exactly what it will look like. You already have your placket. The next step is to attach this placket to the fabric. Now what you're going to do, you're going to open up the fabric. So this is exactly where I'll be placing the placket. Now the part that have the joining on the placket is where will be your center back. As you can see, go ahead to pin this down so that you're placing the placket, the center of the placket to the center back of your fabric. Now after getting the center, you're going to go ahead and pin this placket right down until you get to that area that was notched on the waistline. Remember, there was a notch on this fabric earlier on in the tutorial, so make sure you pin this down until you get to that notch area. You don't have to actually pin this down. I was just pinning it so that you see what it looks like. So you can just go ahead to sew from one side to the one side of the notch, and you go to the other side of the fabric and stitch it so you get a round stitch at the end. After stitching from the back neckline, from the center back down to the placket on both sides, this is exactly what it's looking like on the wrong side. So I'm going to turn this over to the right side. So this is what it's looking like. See that area that was notched? This is going to help you to turn inside. As you can see, I folded it inside and it just entered neatly because of the notch. And this was the reason why we had the notch there in the first place. Now I'm going to open this up to the wrong side so you see what it looks like. So you're going to go ahead and stitch that area. After stitching it, you're going to, if you like, you can trim out the remaining fabric. So after I've stitched it, this is exactly what it looks like. So I just poured some water on it and ironed it thoroughly so it will stay in place. So you go ahead and serge that area, use your weaving machine to serge it, and this is exactly what it was looking like when I was done. This is what it looks like at the wrong side. So you can go ahead and serge that area also. So that's that for the placket. The next thing to do is to attach the black crepe fabric on the sleeve of this kaftan. So get a crepe fabric that is longer than your sleeve. My sleeve is 22 inches, so this is about 24 inches. On fold, it should be 2 inches wide. So you're just going to attach it on your sleeve. You place it on the right side and then you stitch. By the time you are done, this is exactly what it's going to look like. So you are going to close this down. You're going to just watch what I'm doing, please. Make sure you're going to arrange your kaftan. After doing this, you're almost done with this kaftan. You're just going to go ahead and pin this down, then go to your sewing machine and sew using 1 inch on both sides. After you're done, you're going to hem the bottom part and your kaftan is ready. After I was done, this is exactly what the kaftan looks like. I think this came out really well. If you'll be trying this out, let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified whenever I make a new post. Thank you and see you in my next video.